So Bob, let me ask this question then. So, it's kind of a question that answers itself. But we know NLP can help Christians in growing and developing their faith. What have you seen? What are some of the results that you've seen in utilizing and working with NLP with Christians? What are some of the things you've seen?
Okay, the illustration earlier of the girl addicted to porn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. What would be her future?
Right.
But what's her future? A young lady who loves Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And she's whipped that porn. I'm certain she has. If it should pop back up again, and I told her, if you can't get that urge to Jesus, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
A relapse, 1 or 2 a relapse is not unusual. But anyhow, look at her future now.
Mm-hmm.
A family in the church. We started with one porn group. They'll call them Pure Desire groups,
mm-hmm.
that I learned from Woodland Hills Church,
mm-hmm.
where Greg Boyd's at.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, our work we did up there is in my book.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The case studies.
Oh, really?
Yours is in there. Yeah, yours is in there.
Oh,
I
cool.
sent it to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah. But when you got families.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the wife's ready to leave because the husband's addicted to porn.
Mm-hmm.
And the husband finds healing. And I end up counseling with the wife, therapy with the wife as well. And look, you got a family that was going to split, children that were going to have a single parent home, now whole. It's wonderful. And a man who's full of shame, a woman who's full of shame, they're now free in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's awesome.
Right.
Awesome. And I want to train everybody I can.
Bob, and I wanted to add something here because I hope everybody got this. When you were helping that young lady, and I know we've done this, you were not teaching her how to manage the urge. You got rid of it. And I want everybody to hear that because that's important. Because I recently worked with someone, and I was sent a young person. Their parents asked me to work with their child, who's just about an adult, and she was struggling with something. And I was asked the question, can you help? Can you give her some tools to help her manage it? And I said, well, yeah. I said, but really my goal is to get rid of it, not to manage it. And we got rid of it.
Yeah.
And that is the power of these tools, guys. And when we're talking about patterns, we're talking about, and especially with something with porn, which is a strong addiction, panic attacks, anxiety, strong stuff. We're not talking about simply managing it. And we don't put down anybody who does that because everybody's doing the best that they can to help people. But I'm like, if we can get rid of it rather than managing it, I'm going for getting rid of it.
Yep. Yeah.
But that way you're not on constant defense. Like with the porn addiction, that urge, they're not on that constant defense. I got to constantly be watching. I got to constantly make sure that this doesn't get a hold of me. That's not freedom. I mean, we talked with Greg about that when
they're slaves to a demon.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it spiritual terms.
Right. I remember when you and I went up to Minnesota, and we were at Greg's church, and Greg and I and another guy, we were sitting down talking about this, and we're saying, it's got to be more than just, and this is the beginning of the work. It was the first time you and I started working with people who were addicted to porn. It's like, it's got to be more than simply managing the urge. And I believe that at the time, I said, I believe you can get rid of it because it's the structure of the problem. So it's not just simply telling people don't watch porn. Because I've often said, Bob, and I think you've seen this to be true, people can put a lot of filters in place, and I think those are necessary when you're starting off. They could put filters on their computer. They have an accountability. But when that urge hits, they will find a way around all of those boundaries and filters that they've put in place. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.